uSports Central back at it. Adam Deal, Charles Ashley. Listen, we just had Lauren Mabry on. That was awesome. Her Cougars are tearing through this season right now, Charles. Can they finish the deal? I know that's what she's thinking. She wants to finish the deal. Can they do it? It'll be interesting to see because there is a monster in the eastern portion of this state called the Clovis Wildcats. We'll see if they can finish off.
Adam, they just have, I mean, we're looking ahead because that's the matchup everyone's talking about, but don't overlook that Santa Fe team.
Well, that's
either.
our job. We can't overlook.
We can overlook
I'm
it.
not coaching the team.
That's going to be a tough district foe to take down in Santa Fe. I'm expecting some really good battles between those two teams.
Sure. So let's move on here. It's 3 and out, some friendly debate, Charles, and there are some big marquee district matchups, including the ones tonight. I cannot wait to leave this studio and head straight over to Albuquerque High School to watch Albuquerque High take on the Valley Vikings. That's on ProViewNetworks.com tonight live. I'm going to be there, Charles. You're going to be there.
Yes.
This is
it's going to be
2-0 Valley in district play versus 1-0 Albuquerque High. Both teams in the top 10. Valley in the Max Preps rankings ranked 2. We'll show you where they're ranked in the NMOTSC top 10 poll here in just a little bit. But this is exciting.
Yeah, I think this is every year for District 5, everyone secretly wants Albuquerque High and Valley to be good because the battle is so intense, the fans are so intense, and then you have these kids going at it and all this tradition on the floor. So now we got a 16-1 Albuquerque High team, a 10-7 Valley. That 10-7 don't matter because they're 2-0 in district, and we all know that's the only thing that matters is win your district. So Valley is going to be putting up a really big fight tonight with these Bulldogs. I just can't wait
to see it because of the rivalry. I know that student section for Albuquerque High is going to be roaring, and you know right across from it, Valley, they're going to be roaring. It's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. It's going to be intense. And we're going to find out if the Albuquerque High Bulldogs, this young team, actually did grow up and can handle an atmosphere like this. Even though it's at home, I'm just saying, great test for both teams. Valley is on fire right now. I think they've won 4 games in a row now after their road trip win and then 2 in district. So it's been fantastic for the Valley Vikings. Game I can't wait to see tonight. Charles, also tonight, Las Cruces and Mayfield continue their rivalry. That district, very interesting in the South District, how it's all playing out. A couple of upsets early. Oñate, then Mayfield goes and beats Gadsden. We just don't know where this district is. I still say it's Cruces. I think you're jumping on board with that, but this is always a fun district rivalry.
Yeah, you have a Cruces team that if they get this win, now they're sitting at 3-0 in district. They can pretty much dictate what's going to happen. Mayfield, on the other hand, with the losing record, they're sitting 1-0 in the district. They can steal this game. It's at home for them. They can be sitting pretty also, but I still think Oñate will have something to say about it, but Cruces, if Coach Benjamin is going to do what I think he will, they're going to run a little bit more on this Mayfield team who wants to limit possessions, and they're going to really try to run that score up. So I think Cruces, I'm going with Cruces in this game.
Well, the Cibola Cougars are hosting a big one tonight, and that's against the Rio Rancho Rams. Now, we know the Rams just slipped up against Volcano Vista on the road. Can they have room to slip up 2 in a row? No. I projected that Cibola would probably finish 2 in this district based on Rio Rancho's struggles against them in the APS Metro tournament. Now, the Rio Rancho Rams can remedy it all with a great bounce-back win on the road tonight. But can they do it? Coach Salata and company have been roaring through the season, ranked 4 in Max Preps. And again, we'll release the NMOTSC top 10 poll here in just a moment. But this one has a monster matchup right in front of us.
Monster matchup. And I'm interested to see who's going to impose their will. You got a Rodriguez team where he wants to slow it up in the half court. Really good half-court defense, slow the ball down, pound it inside to Buttery Hands Liddell and Cunningham to do their thing. And then you have Salata, who they want to force the pace.
Buttery Hands Liddell. Do you think Liddell likes it when you call him Buttery Hands?
Hey, whatever, score. Anyway, you got Rio Rancho, who wants to run the ball. They want to run it off the miss, off the make. They need Patterson in open space because no one can guard him in the open floor. So I'm interested to see who's going to dictate the pace of this game. It's going to be a good one.
And one more to talk about, staying in the same district, Charles. The Volcano Vista Hawks going to go to Cleveland as the Storm slipped by Santa Fe at Santa Fe in overtime. Another test as Volcano coming off that monster win at home against Rio Rancho. District 1 does not sleep. This is another marquee matchup. We'll see if James McNeely James Vigil
Caleb
on the inside.
Dixon in the inside.
Caleb Dixon on the inside and McNeely on the outside can get it done. Ryan Jones has been on fire. He had a big-time game, second-half performance against Santa Fe. But can Cleveland get their other players involved, Charles? That's what it's going to come down to. People off the bench like Ryan Patrick, can he be big? Marcus Williams is always solid on the inside, but where else is the help going to come from? Josiah Mabu's going to have to be big, holding the rock at the point guard. This is a great matchup.
Well, yeah, you know, Coach Brown, he's going to his teams get after you. They're gonna pressure Cleveland. They're gonna make Cleveland prove to them that they can handle the ball as far as the pace of the game. McNeely's gonna do his job. Dixon has been really coming on strong lately. If Lorenzo Vigil can knock down some open threes,
there it is, Lorenzo Vigil.
Where we space the floor a little more for Volcano, I can see Volcano pulling that upset because they're riding high off of that big comeback win against Rio Rancho, and you have a Cleveland team who struggled against Santa Fe. I think they're going to try to make a statement tonight to let people know that they're still for real. I think Cleveland's going to take this one.
Obviously a great night in district. Let's move on here and let's talk about some of the other great matchups throughout the state, as district is too much fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got Rio Grande going to play Atrisco Heritage,
yes,
which is interesting because Rio Grande has some of their players back and is starting to look a little bit more like the old Rio Grande that we saw at the beginning of the year. And Atrisco's on the opposite spectrum. They're 1-1 in district play. But the problem is, excuse me, no, you're right. I'm sorry, 0-2 in district play. The problem is, Charles, is they lost Chris Trujillo for the year, and Adrian Ortega's crew already isn't that deep.
Yeah.
This is actually a big matchup for Atrisco. Scary moment for them. They don't want to slip up, especially against Rio Grande, who's slid a lot in a row here.
Well, yeah, you have a Rio Grande team that, according to Max Preps, they need to play their way into the tournament. They're on the outside looking in right now. They need some district wins. They're at 0-2, but as you mentioned, a lot of pieces of return for this Rio Grande team. They're going to pressure an Atrisco team that's lost a starting guard. So they're going to force Atrisco to make plays. I can see Rio Grande pressing the entire game. But I think I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one. I feel an upset. I don't know. I'm sorry, Coach Ortega.
Atrisco's got to bounce back. They're going to get the win at home. I think they've got to bounce back, and they will. You look at some of the other matchups. St. Pius is going to go visit West Mesa. West Mesa, I think, morale reason they need to win.
Yes.
St. Pius, I think they're starting to prove themselves as a really good 5A school. That's an interesting matchup. And then you look down south, Charles. Yes, Hobbs, they start district play at Clovis. I don't think there's a problem there. That old school rivalry, not going to bode well, I think, tonight for the Wildcats. And then, of course, you've got Alamogordo at Carlsbad.
Yes. Carlsbad needs this win, too. They need to keep continuing to prove to people that they're the team that came into the season with all that hype.
No problem, I think.
No problem. They're going to run away with it. Onyate's going to beat up on Deming tonight. I don't think there's any problem right there. That St. Pius and West Mesa game, I think St. Pius has a lot to prove. They beat a Rio Grande team. They really took Albuquerque High to the end. They're going to take that win. West Mesa, sorry. I think Pius has it.
Come back. We're going to break out the NMOTSC Top 10 poll when you return on uSports Central. It's a Tuesday.
Hey, got the beats and everything.